Thanks for joining us at 4:30.
The news continues with Live at 5. Local family says it isn't just the driver. Tonight, what they're doing to hold others responsible. Live at 5 starts now.
Right now, from Milwaukee, this is today's TMJ4, Live at 5.
We are in the early stages of a massive storm system that's posed to dump a lot of rain in our already frozen ground.
That means the potential for floodings all across the region.
We've got Storm Team 4 coverage ready to go. Ricky Mitchell with tips to prevent flooding in your basement. Alicia Wilson and today's TMJ Storm Chaser. But we start with meteorologist Maggie Glenn. He's got the very latest on the storm for us right now.
It's been raining all day and it's not showing any signs of stopping anytime soon. We've had flood watches going on since this morning, and especially with all the snow we've had this past week, the drains are clogging up with snow and the water just isn't able to drain properly. So really be careful when you're out there today driving. Make sure you drive slow if you see any really big puddles. This flood watch is supposed to continue through tomorrow, and then we're supposed to get a winter advisory tonight. All right. Okay. It says Alicia Wilson is out. Okay. Alicia Wilson is out in our today's TMJ4 Storm Chaser. Alicia, how are the roads looking?
We're already starting to see a lot of standing water in these neighborhoods, but the real concern is where all of this water will end up going. And if you're not careful, it could seep into your basement. Here's Ricky Mitchell.
Not frozen at this time.
A good sign for this homeowner in Menominee Falls, says Brian Comer with Badger Basement Systems. He did a quick inspection in the basement today, but says tomorrow is when he'll get really busy.
Lots of issues with water into basements seeping out is probably the types of calls we'll be getting.
He says when even a small amount of rain falls on frozen ground, it won't soak into the soil, but where it will likely end up, right next to your foundation walls.
It doesn't freeze as readily as the surrounding area.
He says if your home uses a sump pump, check and make sure it's operating correctly and there's no visible ice on the line. He also said it doesn't hurt to clear away snow against your home so it doesn't melt and make the problem worse.
For the homeowners who don't always have water in their basement, but this is one of those times where they can experience it and wonder why it's happening.
Clearing snow away from storm drains outside your home can also alleviate flooding risks in your neighborhood. The Department of Public Works had crews out today to make sure snow drains in low-lying areas were clear of any snow or debris. Chardonnay?
Thank you, Maggie. Remember, for all things weather, go to today's TMJ4.com for live radar, interactive maps, and any other weather information you need.
State election officials are also worried about the weather. Tomorrow is Election Day, with a state Supreme Court primary on the ballot. The Wisconsin Elections Commission says polling locations must be open by 7 a.m. and staffed with at least 3 election inspectors. Polls must remain open until 8 p.m. and cannot be closed due to bad weather.
More local news. A 34-year-old man is under arrest in the death of a 14-year-old Milwaukee girl. Police believe Jada Wright was beaten to death at a home on the city's northwest side last Thursday. The suspect is expected to be charged in the next few days.
A shocking number today from the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office. The ME reports that deaths of 45 infants in 2017. That's an increase of more than 100% from just 5 years ago. Tragically, another infant died in Milwaukee over the weekend. It happened at a home near MLK and Burley Sunday morning. The cause of the death has not been released. The man shot by a Brown Deer police officer took the stand for a second day. He testified today against Officer Devin Kramer, accused of shooting him in the back. Maggie Glynn is here with today's testimony.
Chloe, the shooting happened right after an argument on a bus near 60th and Brown Deer. Burnley Jr. says the driver was giving him a hard time about not having what's called an M card. Burnley Jr. testified
he did not have an M card and therefore could not get a bus transfer. This video shows him arguing with the bus driver about it. She called police on board. But officers later found an M card in Burnley Jr.'s wallet.
The police photographed everything in your wallet. How did that M card get there?
I have no idea, but I've never had an M card.
So the M card just appeared?
It had to. I never had an M card.
You're not seeing his face because the judge has banned us from photographing any witnesses. After Kramer and a second officer escorted Burnley Jr. off the bus in March of 2016, all three people fell to the ground in a scuffle. Kramer shot Burnley Jr. once in the back, telling investigators she feared for her safety. Throughout his testimony, Burnley Jr. said he was not resisting handcuffs.
As they're trying to get hold of your hands, you're like pulling away, trying to keep them from grabbing your wrists or hands or arms?
Not trying to pull away. I was trying to help them just assist with arresting me.
But the bus driver took the stand today too. She disagreed.
He was tossing her around like a Raggedy Ann doll. He was fighting her like she was a man.
Burnley Jr. testified he is planning to file a civil suit in connection with the shooting. Kramer remains on administrative suspension from BPD. Maggie Glenn, today's TMJ4.
Thank you, Maggie.
Another warning to slow down for emergency vehicles on the side of the road. This one from the Fond du Lac Sheriff Department after a scene on I-41 yesterday. You saw one car slow down abruptly, crashing the chain reaction crash. No one was hurt, but all three vehicles involved had to be towed from the scene. On New Year's Day, an alleged drunk driver crossed the center lane on a Kenosha County highway, killing a 53-year-old woman. The man was arrested, but the victim's family wants more done. Maggie Glenn has this story tonight, now at 5. Maggie?
Chardonnay, the daughter of Dujuana Latshaw, doesn't want another family to go through what she's going through. That's why they're reaching out to lawmakers, because she not only feels like the suspect should be held accountable, but the bar who served him should be held responsible for her mother's death as well.
I am writing to you on behalf of my entire family.
It's a memory that Elissa Naira will never forget.
After my beloved mother, Dujuana Latshaw, was tragically and senselessly killed by a drunk driver.
Court records say 38-year-old Christopher Thayer had 8 to 9 drinks on New Year's Day at Rivals Bar. A bartender knew Thayer was drunk and offered to give him a ride home. Thayer refused a ride, but this family says with dram shop laws, Wisconsin bars will feel more obligated to not let things like this happen. Dram shop laws hold bars and restaurants liable for the death or injury of a person involved in a drunk driving crash. That's why she's reaching out to lawmakers with a letter.
It's a matter of logic.
Attorney Elizabeth Olszewski is working with the family. 30 states have dram shop laws, one of those being just 8 miles away from Kenosha.
You can hold them responsible in the state of Illinois. If we implement those laws, then we potentially save lives in Wisconsin. Bar owners shouldn't be able to choose saving a dollar over saving a life.
She was my best friend. We did everything together.
Dram Shop is here in Wisconsin, but the law is limited to holding bars liable if they only serve alcohol to a minor who's involved in a serious drunk driving crash. In some states like Illinois, the law isn't just limited to minors. We'll be staying on top of this story and keep you updated if or when things progress. Chloe?
The Wisconsin legislature plans to vote this week on several key bills that are part of Governor Scott Walker's re-election platform. Among them, a $200 million proposal to lower insurance premium costs for people who buy their plans in the private market under the Affordable Care Act. That bill is scheduled for the votes both in the Senate and the Assembly tomorrow. We continue to watch a developing weather situation at this hour. As the rain keeps falling, an update is just ahead.
And in the wake of the Florida school massacre, these students make a statement right in front of the White House. Storm Team 4 coverage continues on Live at 5 as we keep a close watch on a long and all times heavy period of rainfall over the next day or so. The rain combined with melting snow creates the potential for flooding across southeast Wisconsin. We'll check in again with meteorologist Brian Goddard and get the very latest on the forecast in just a little bit.
More news now and Live at 5. A group of high school students spent their President's Day taking a stand by lying down in front of the White House. They staged a so-called lie-in, calling on President Trump and Congress to take action to end mass shootings. Other protesters carried signs asking for stricter gun control laws. Another place where frustration is mounting, inside America's hospitals. The medical community is upset with the Trump administration's focus on mental illness as the cause of mass violence. While they welcome more resources and attention, mental health professionals say most people with psychiatric illnesses are not violent. They say the administration is ignoring the real problem: easy access to guns.
The suspect in last week's Florida high school massacre made his first live appearance in court today. Nikolas Cruz was surrounded by sheriff's deputies. His attorney has already said Cruz will admit guilt to avoid the death penalty. Tonight on the NBC Nightly News, an interview with the couple who opened their home to Nikolas Cruz for 3 months.
Sometimes when things happen, we have an ability to look back and see small signs that we didn't pick up on. Anything like that here?
No, sir.
We were discussing that the other day. I said, I can't think of anything that, you know, so, like you said, in retrospect, you know, a light bulb in my head, oh, you know, there was nothing.
He told me 2 weeks ago it's as happy as he's ever been. He was glad he was here with us.
You can see that interview at 5:30 on the NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
A cougar spotted in Brookfield again, and it's caught on camera.
Maggie Glenn is in the newsroom with a story new at 6.
Thanks, Chloe and Chardonnay. You can see the big cat in the street before it walks right up to a man's front window. Tonight, the homeowner talks about seeing a cougar so close to his home, plus his advice to neighbors. That's coming up new on Live at 6.
It was a dream wedding for Justin and Melissa Roger of Rhode Island. Everything was going as planned until it came time for the reception.
One of her bridesmaids came up to me and whispered in my ear, "We have a situation that's going on. Don't be alarmed, but Melissa is stuck in the elevator."
I was hoping that, like, okay, it'll just take a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes went by, and I thought, okay, something might be wrong.
Melissa and her 2 wedding planners were stuck in the hotel elevator, 4 feet away from the 18th floor, as firefighters worked to determine how she could get out without ruining her dress. That crisis was averted when a technician got the elevator back up and running. Melissa says there was a cocktail waiting for her when she finally got off the elevator.
Brian Goddard's busy getting the latest storm team forecast together. He'll have that for us when we come back.
And a live look from today's TMJ4 Storm Chaser. As we keep watch on the potential for flooding across the region, Alyssa Wilson at the controls today. She'll have an update for us next.
Let's get more on this potentially serious weather situation.
Maggie Glenn has the latest outlook now in the Storm Team forecast.
Chloe and Chardonnay, it's been raining all day and it's not showing any signs of letting up anytime soon. We've seen the storm system moving from west to east today, and it's going to keep on going until tomorrow morning. The winter weather advisory will begin tonight, which will cause issues for driving. The temperatures today were a bit warm. They are expected to cool down a bit tomorrow, which is when things could freeze over and cause some potential problems. Things do warm up again later this week into Friday and then into Saturday, but that comes again with another chance of rain. And then as we head into the weekend, we see another wintry mix of just rain and freezing rain. So in summary, be careful when you're driving this week because roads are going to be super slick.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Me neither.
Just ahead, the U.S. women's hockey team getting set for their gold medal showdown against Team Canada. Rod Burks live from the Pettit with an Olympic update next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pettit National Ice Center. The U.S. men's curling team is still alive for a medal in Pyeongchang after their dramatic 9-7 win over Team Canada. It was John Schuster's game-winning shot, which turned out to be the difference in winning the match. Here he is on the popularity of curling.
It's becoming a very athletic game too, and I think being able to share that with the people of the U.S. Has truly been special. We've seen some giant growth amongst people that were just watching it on TV to now starting to try to form clubs around the country, and it's been awesome to see that growth and to try to help support it.
It's the matchup everyone has been waiting for in women's hockey in this year's Winter Games in Pyeongchang. And now we've got it. It will be Team USA against Team Canada for gold. Here's Hillary Knight and Brianna Decker on what this rivalry is all about.
I describe the rivalry with Canada one of the most beautiful rivalries in sport. And I say that because it brings out the best competition on both sides. It is a passionate, gut-wrenching, amazingly tactful, skillful game. And the fans are never disappointed. We as competitors are never disappointed, and it always keeps us on our toes, which is just incredible.
The rivalry is intense. I mean, anytime we have a chance to play them, it's usually a one-goal game, and so it's crazy to me that it's always a one-goal game. But I hope to change that. But I would say it's probably the most fun hockey that we get to play, and that's the beauty of the rivalry.
And you can catch the gold medal game between the United States and Canada on Wednesday night. Tonight, you've got ice dancing and two-men bobsled in primetime. We're back after the break.
Tonight's Badger 5 jackpot is an estimated $24,000.
Coming up on the Olympic Zone at 6:30. 50 years after winning gold, figure skating legend Peggy Fleming talks to us about changes in the sport and how she's hoping to revitalize it. That's coming up at 6:30 on the Olympic Zone.
NBC's primetime Olympic coverage tonight features figure skating, freestyle skiing, and bobsled. Then join us after the game for Live at 10. We'll be on at 10:30.
All right, guys. Oh, sorry. Don't forget to be careful on your ride home tonight. Temperatures are going to continue to drop and make things really slick. So, again, just be careful on your morning commute tomorrow.
Yes. Thank you. I'll be sure to be careful. Thanks for joining us on Live at 5.
The NBC Nightly News is next.
Right now, from Milwaukee, this is today's TMJ4, live at 6.
Now at 6, a live look outside as rain continues to pummel southeast Wisconsin. We have team coverage of the mixed bag of weather in our area. Alicia Wilson is on the road in today's TMJ4 Storm Chaser.
Chardonnay Hunt is in studio tracking the rain. Tom Durian is all the way in Fond du Lac where the ice could be a concern overnight. Let's start now with Chardonnay, who has the latest.
So it looks here that we have a slight lot of rain coming in, a little flooding could possibly be happening, also with some slick roads going on. So just be careful as you drive around, especially when you wake up in the morning for work tomorrow, as the roads can be really slick. And looking into the rest of the week. Alicia Wilson is out in our today's TMJ Storm Chaser. Alicia Wilson now are looking at the roads.
Preparing for the ice storm?
Oh, just in case. When ice is your biggest obstacle, you need a big bag of ice melt.
It's good to have on stock just in case, so I need to get the kids to school. If we have to, we'll get them out.
John Welsh wasn't alone. Tony is here to buy salt to treat his neighbor's walkway. Obviously, you've seen the forecast, correct?
Yes, is it correct?
It could change in a good way where you won't need this.
Oh my God, not again.
But you want to be prepared.
Absolutely.
The local Kits and File True Value Hardware is watching their salt supply start to dwindle quickly.
On a regular basis, it's been going out the door because they've been advertising the ice storm since last night.
Just because it doesn't seem to be as bad as it had anticipated to be, we are still going to watch it, still be prepared.
Across town at the county's emergency management office and 911 center, better safe than sorry as well, they have been in contact with local power companies, school districts, and the Red Cross.
In the event of a large power outage, we would have the potential to need to activate shelters to ensure that people had somewhere to go.
We would love to see your weather pictures. Wherever you are, take out your phone and snap some photos and send them to us.
New at 6, a freshman basketball coach at Hamilton High School now charged with sharing nude pictures of women with his players. The criminal complaint says James White shared the photos in a private Facebook group. A mother of one of the players went to police. Milwaukee Public Schools has suspended White. A curious cougar is the talk of the town in Brookfield. Security cameras caught the big cat in a residential neighborhood this weekend. Chardonnay Hunt talked to a homeowner who captured the encounter on camera.
Dan Gurnett learned about the big cat's visit when he noticed some large paw prints leading up to his porch. He then realized what it was once he watched video from his home security system.
A curious cougar caught on camera.
What really triggered me to look at it is because there was another cougar sighting like a day earlier.
Around 6:30 Sunday morning, lurking near Capitol and Pilgrim, Dan Gert spotted something strange.
Without the camera there, I would have never even probably known, or they would have just been paw prints there. Never would have guessed that was the cougar.
You can see a huge cat walk up to Dan's house and jump to the window, taking a peek inside. The DNR suspects it's about a year old and weighs 50 pounds. Tomas Sorillo lives across the street and says he's now keeping a closer eye on his dog.
Letting people know that it was seen here is important. Just people have, dogs and kids and stuff like that around here.
Though some neighbors are surprised, they're in good spirits.
If I had concealed carry, I'd probably be carrying too, at least for the next few days until they give us an update on this cougar.
And they say their morning and evening routines might change, but it's not all bad.
At the same time, I think it's really neat too, just the footage that I was able to get.
The DNR suspects this is the same cougar spotted in Washington County just 2 weeks ago. They last tracked it in Brookfield near 135th and Hope. Chardonnay Hunt, today's TMJ4.
New at 6, a Racine family still looking for answers after their relative was shot and killed by police last month. Dante Shannon's family says the shooting was not justified. Chardonnay Hunt is live where the family held a rally today.
Chloe, this family says they are trying to make a statement and bring awareness to what they consider unjust police practices. And they aren't alone in this effort. Dozens of people joined them today as they marched from City Hall to the Racine County Courthouse.
No weapons, police! No voices, police!
And not only is this a community movement here in Racine, but even people from outside the area marched alongside the Shannon family today, including the mother of Dontre Hamilton, who was shot and killed by a Milwaukee police officer in 2014. And the mother of Sandra Bland, a 28-year-old woman, was found hanged in a jail cell in Texas in 2015, 3 days after being arrested during a traffic stop. The father of Dante Shannon says standing in solidarity with families who have faced similar tragedies highlights what the considers a lack of trust between the black community and police.
These kids are running for their lives for a reason. It's not the first time, it's not the second time. You can see it was the first time it ever happened in history. It's not. It just keeps repeating itself over and over again.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice is investigating Shannon's death. We reached out to the department today, but haven't heard back. Chloe?
Quick thinking by a concerned driver leads to law enforcement getting a car carrier off the road. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office received a call about this car hauler this morning. The hauler is only supposed to be carrying 4 vehicles at a time, but you can see 8 pictured. The company was cited.
Your first look at the 2018 Milwaukee Brewers will be this Friday. The team announced their spring training broadcast schedule today. The first televised game will be Friday afternoon against the Cubs on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Hall of Famer Bob Uecker will be on WTMJ Radio for 14 games during spring training.
It's been 4 years since Wes Edens became one of the new co-owners of the Milwaukee Bucks. Charles Benson recently caught up with him to talk about his expectations for the team and the opening of the new arena next season. He also asked the father of 2 daughters if someday the NBA will have a female head coach.
You think that could happen someday, more in the next 5 years?
I definitely think it could happen.
And as a women head coach of the NBA team?
I think it definitely could happen.
Tune in tonight after the Olympics for Charles Benson's exclusive story with Wes Edens.
Still ahead on Live at 6, find out which Olympic events are going on tonight in primetime and why Team USA has some work to do.
And then you see the political battles on Capitol Hill play out on television. But a local high school student lived it for an entire semester. Hear her story coming up. Here's what's on TV tonight. The Olympic Zone is up next at 6:30. That's followed by the Winter Olympics on today's TMJ4. Then join us for more local news after the games.
Let's take a live look at Pyeongchang, South Korea, where Monday has already come and gone. We're entering the final week of the 2018 Winter Olympics, but there's still plenty of action left. Let's take a look at the current gold medal count. If you don't want to know, look away now. Norway leads the way with 11 gold medals. Germany has 10, Canada and Netherlands both have 6, and Team USA has 5.
There will be plenty of non-stop action in prime time tonight. Figure skating, freestyle skiing, bobsled, and alpine skiing outline tonight's events. It all starts at 7 o'clock. There's no excuse to miss any of the Winter Olympics on today's TMJ4. We have an online section dedicated to the games. You can find galleries, highlights, and more. Head to tmj4.com/Olympics.
Still ahead, see who's vying for a state Supreme Court seat tomorrow and how to find your polling place.
Plus, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a Wauwatosa high schooler. Hear why she finds politics so interesting. Summerfest is a long way away, but changes to the U.S. Cellular Center are already in motion. Kids with the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee got the behind-the-scenes look at how the stage is being put together at Epstein Uhin Architects. They even got to sign the tallest beam.
Now to Decision 2018 coverage. Tomorrow is the spring primary election. Several judge seats are up for grabs, with arguably the biggest being the race for state Supreme Court Justice. Michael Skrenek, Tim Burns, and Rebecca Dallett are all vying for the seat. The two with the most votes tomorrow will face off April 3rd, with the winner taking over for Michael Gableman. Polls open at 7 tomorrow morning. Head to tmj4.com for a link on where you can vote. All you have to do is enter your address and you'll be directed to polling places near you.
It's a once-in-a-life opportunity for a Wauwatosa East student pulled it off. Lane Donovan spent a semester in the nation's capital as a Senate page, and what a semester to be there.
Did you become a tourist in D.C.?
I did. I got the opportunity to kind of explore the city on the weekends.
Lane Donovan didn't just learn about how Washington works, she lived it.
The night of the tax reform is very cool.
The high school junior was a Senate page last semester, one of only 30 selected from a very competitive program. She witnessed talk over a government shutdown and the historic GOP tax cut.
The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is passed.
Just being there was really amazing. Being in that room, there was a sense of history.
Her job included running errands to Senate offices, assisting senators on the floor, and listening to a lot of speeches.
One of the things that I learned was that they really do care about what they're talking about. Either side of the aisle, they really, really care.
Living in D.C. and working as a Senate page would beat any sort of history lesson you might learn in class. But Lane still had to do all the other school stuff. She had to take core classes while in D.C.
politics in general is so interesting to me because I really enjoy history, and so politics is kind of history today.
Donovan was sponsored by Senator Baldwin and says the Senate Page experience has inspired her to pursue a public policy career.
Politics gives people the ability to create positive change.
Storm Team 4 now. We've gone from snow to rain and lots of it.
Meteorologist Chardonnay Hunt joins us with a forecast that looks more like spring.
So it's a lot of snow out here as we look forward to the days coming up. It's going to be a little rain going on tonight. The roads are getting a little slick, so just make sure you be careful as you drive to work in the morning. Also, for the next couple of days, it'll be a little more rainy in the forecast. So just make sure you're just, keeping your driving skills and not driving too fast as the rain is still accumulating as the days go on.
All right, so we'll be sure to be careful out there tonight, especially.
Very slick outside, guys, so be careful.
All right, thanks for joining us at 6.
Welcome back. Lorenzo Kane, Christian Yelch, Ryan Brun, Travis Shaw, and possibly Eric Thames and Domingo Santana sounds like a pretty strong Brewers lineup to me. Today, Precision players reported to Maryville Baseball Park. Tomorrow is the first full squad workout. Third baseman Travis Shaw can't wait to hit in the Brewers' new lineup.
That lineup can be impressive. I mean, with everybody there, we've got 5 guys, if you think about it, that could hit in the middle of the order at any time. So the production should be there.
U.S. long track speed skating continues to come up short. The men's 500, all 3 skaters don't make the podium. Waukesha's Mitch Whitmore the best in 15th.
The opener was a lot slower than I expected. Nothing like glaringly obvious why it was slow either. I'm gonna have to watch the video and see what it exactly was.
And you've heard the saying in NASCAR, second place is the first loser. Certainly not for Bubba Wallace, driving the iconic 43 of Richard Petty. But runner-up is the highest finish for an African-American driver in the Great American Race. And afterward, the emotions spilled out.
I am so proud of you, baby. I'm so proud of you. You have waited so long, baby.
You act like we just won the race.
Hey, we did. Hey, we did. We did win that race, baby. We did. I love you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, love you.
God dang it, Mom.
Where's my sister at?
So proud of you.
Thank you. I love you. Just so y'all know, I do have an older sister. This is her. Hello. That's where I get my looks from. I love you. Come on now. I'm gonna talk like this.
That's sports. We are back after the break.
Here's what's coming up next on the Olympic Zone. 50 years after winning gold, figure skater legend Peggy Fleming talks to us about changes in the sport.
So just remember, guys, the roads are going to be really slick tonight and also into tomorrow. So just make sure you guys be safe out there tomorrow as you travel to work and school.
All right, thanks, Chardonnay. Thanks for joining us at 6.
The Olympic Zone is next.